Hey, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. This is Chris here in Hawaii. We are doing the London close trade here with Bettertradr. A little bit of a late start here with some technical difficulties, but we are on, and there's a trade that we have going. So we'll talk about that in a second. It's USD CAD, but just wanted to kind of talk about what we had going on today, sentiment-wise, and what drove me to this decision for the trade. It's pretty good on a 6.45 to 1 reward to risk. And we'll talk about the technicals here in a bit. But, today was NFP day, so big jobs report. And, looking at the analysis, which was great, London close time is perfect for NFP day because it's a couple hours after, and it gives you time to digest the meat and potatoes of the jobs report, not just the headlines. So, looking at it, you can see that there was a little bit of a pickup in jobs for the U.S., but participation rate is down, and also they're accounting for maybe a 1% decrease on people that are not reporting as unemployed because they're furloughed. So the consensus is on the analysis that that's going to really hit in August, and we're going to see a little bit of a beat on that one. Where in Canada, it was a little bit better on the jobs report, and their IV PMI was a beat as well. So with the Canadian dollar, I know that we have the aluminum tariffs there that Trump talked about, but looking at like CAD yen yesterday, there wasn't really that much of a drop. So that tells me that the market's not really as concerned about that, based on my analysis for today. So that was kind of the big thing going on here. Just looking at the heat map, and I'll come back to this currency here. But looking at the heat map, you can see the dollar has seen a mild bid today. It's up over 1% over the Kiwi, so that's interesting. But Euro is mixed to being sold, Aussie's being sold, Pound is mixed, Kiwi's being sold off. Canadian dollar is still holding strong, so even though there was a little bit more of a risk-off type of feel to the markets today, Canadian dollar really held, and that tells me that could be a nice little move down here. Right now, it's pretty much stalled at our entry point. It's within 5 pips of kind of where we entered, so it's kind of making up its mind and deciding what to do here. Could we see a late minute sell off? Yes. Could we see a late minute bid into the dollar? Yeah, we could. But that's kind of what we have going on today. The yen's still being bid fairly well, but nothing crazy except for Kiwi, I believe it is. So Kiwi's still being sold off here. So back to what we have going on the trade. You can see right now it's still kind of trying to decide what to do here. That's why I kept the stop really, really tight. My thought is it's not going to break out of this area today. If it decides to just stick around, it'll kind of dilly-dally around this area. And if it decides to drop, it's going to drop substantially. So it was worth the reward to risk on this one. Going to a smaller time frame, you can kind of see there was a really, really strong bar here, and that's where I got in. And it's kind of just moving up and down here in this last 25 minutes. So the good news is you can see the volume build up here a little bit more. Let's update this and see all the way, and you can see the volume's just pretty much dispersed right here. So there's kind of a little bit of a channel between our stop and our entry, and it's either going to break out of here or it's going to break downwards. So we will see what happens, but could go either way. All right, but just remember our entry and our stop loss techniques. So I would like to see it close above this level on a 30-minute chart for me to get out of it. So could it spike up here and then drop back down? It could, but we'll see what happens on this. there's a level of support right here. But like I said, I don't think the dollar is particularly strong. So we will see what happens on this trade, and I'll get back to you guys. So let's keep an eye on it. This bar's not looking very good, looking ominous. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, thanks. And if it gets above the stop, I'll chime back in during the time frame, and we'll talk about how to manage it. Okay. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in a bit. has breached our stop. So what I'm going to do, it's 2 minutes till 5 p.m. London time. This is how I manage it. So it's past it on the 30-minute chart in about 2 minutes if it's up there. So I look at the first 5-minute bar, and if it goes back into our stop zone area or our in play area, then usually what happens is it's going to go retrace down. If it stays up here for another 5 minutes, we just get out of this. We click out. So that's how I manage it, and let's I'll stay live here on this one to see what happens here, and we'll kind of go from there. So it looks like price is kind of pushing up there. So I think the U.S. dollar is gaining a little bit of strength today, going into the close here. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll see what happens here. Okay, so it closed above our stop, and let's see what happens on this bar. Like I said, if this thing gets down into here within the next 5 minutes and closes, we'll stay in the trade. Otherwise, we'll get out of it. So even if this 5-minute bar closes here, we're still getting out. So it has to go into this area for me to continue with this trade and be validated. So what'll happen sometimes, and this is the reason I do this, is larger traders will see liquidity at a certain level, and they will take advantage of that fact. So they'll use it to get price to a certain level for them to go in the opposite direction. Because if you remember, if there's any stops here, so if I'm going short here, I'm going to buy here, right? So if they want to sell, they need that. They need those fresh levels of buy orders to be able to sell, right? So that's why I do it the way I do it. And once again, I get hurt on a few of these things, but this first 5-minute bar is a good confirmation of continuation or strict reversal. Because normally, what happens if they're just taking out stops within the first 5 minutes, it rebounds fairly quickly. If it's going to continue, it doesn't rebound. So once again, that'll be a sign for us to get out here. So right now you can see it's gone down about 6 pips, 5 pips. So it's nearing our zone here. It's by about 3 pips. So if it can go 3 pips in the next 3 minutes, we'll stay in this guy, and we'll keep an eye on it. So if it does get into this area in this first 5 minutes, what I do is I'll wait to the next 30-minute bar, and then if it closes above again, I'll repeat the same process. So that's how it works. And just, a caveat for me is this level right here. If this thing closes above this level, I'm out of it automatically, because that means it's going to make new highs. So So we got 30 seconds, guys, 20 seconds here, and we need it to go another pip. Like I said, it has to close into this area, otherwise we're going to get out of it. So, and it's important that you stick with your rules, because, letting it sit, anything can happen here. And, if it's not working, it's not working, right? All right, so it closed above it, so we're out. We're taking our losses and getting out of this thing. Like I said, you could see with it not closing into the zone here, it's already starting to find a little bit of a support. And, who knows? It could go all the way down. I don't know. But my trading strategy here, and what I try to stick with is to manage risk. And, getting out of this was a 1R loss compared to, if we hit a profit target, we're looking at a 6R win here. So I only have to be right 1 out of 6 times to break even, 2 out of 6 times to be up quite a bit. So, that's the mindset you got to have. Don't be afraid of losses. Stick with your strategy, and you'll find success. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, I think that'll do it for the session for today. I think, whenever we have a loss, I like to make sure I learn something from it, and hopefully you guys learned something from today. And, that's the reality of it, is we're going to have losses, but we're going to have more wins. So hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will catch you on Monday. Have a great day.